When we talk of migrants, it's often in the negative in terms of the strain that they put on the local economy, the adoptive local economies, and the fight for scant jobs and living spaces. What is the other story?
Well, the other story is a story that comes from the global experience in relation to migration and entrepreneurship. In many countries, migrants are encouraged to come, to set up small businesses, to grow those businesses, and to create employment. And in fact, they've actually been called in many countries unsung heroes. The thing that is different about South Africa is that I've never heard anybody call a migrant entrepreneur in South Africa from another country a hero. In fact, they're more often portrayed as villains.
And we can see that certainly in the last couple of weeks with the evolution of clashes in local communities between foreign-owned businesses and the local community. You talk there and you reference what you refer to as a critical role that they play in this informal economy. Yet this role is often invisible to researchers and policymakers. Why is that, and why should they be more highly valued than they currently are?
Well, I think they should be highly valued in terms of a realistic look at what it is that they are doing and contribute. And there's all sorts of myths and stereotypes around their contribution, generally of a negative kind. So one needs to turn that around and actually ask the question about what sorts of contribution, economic in particular, are they actually making to this country. And one can quickly, I can enumerate very quickly 3 or 4 of these things. Firstly, most migrant entrepreneurs source the goods that they sell from informal sector, from wholesalers and retailers. So they're good for wholesale and retail business in South Africa. And they also pay VAT on the goods that they purchase. So they contribute to the tax base. Many South Africans, particularly in poorer areas, rent out properties, stands, for people to operate from, so they're paying South Africans rentals, and in many cases that's a vital source of income for households. A third thing one could mention is the whole employment question, which tends to get lost. I mean, by definition, small businesses are not major employers, but what we find and have found in our research and has been presented at this conference, which has looked at these entrepreneurs in Johannesburg and Cape Town, is they do play a relatively significant employment creation, particularly of South Africans. And then finally, their contribution is that they help to reduce food insecurity because they produce food, supply food to consumers at reasonable prices.